Thank you. The origin story of this musical begins at the Everyman Cinema in Hampstead. At some point between Paddington 2 family fun daily popcorn apocalypses and the Star Wars ultra late night 3.5 hour fever dreams, Tanya, Truman and I met. Over our stints at Everyman, we both gained reputations. I was known for adapting the screen announcements into mini musical comedies, and for my chronic inability to last an entire shift in front of the pizza oven without a manager physically removing me from the area for the safety of myself, other staff members, and the structural integrity of the building. Tanya was known for singing all the time, and I mean all the time. And in the rare moments Tanya wasn't singing, she was doing impressions of Nigella Lawson. Coupled with Tanya's superhuman abilities in the cinema's micro-industrial kitchen, it was as if Nigella Lawson herself had decided to join the ranks of Everyman Hampstead ushers for the joy of Padron Peppers, unlimited films, and less than London living wage. I mean, she might, you never know. Since those halcyon days, Tanya and I have collaborated on many projects, each one taking us a step closer to the inevitable, the musical Becoming Nigella. But the inevitable would not have been possible without the support of Stage 1, Arts Council England, Mercury Musical Developments, JW3, Manchester Jewish Museum, and Adam Lenson's Signal concert where we first performed a song from the show. This would also have not been possible without our fantastic director, Grace Taylor, who can't be here today as she's the resident director of Anne Juliet at the moment in Manchester, Birmingham, one of the places. And our wonderful music director, David Merriman, and the incredible Natasha Karp, who is playing the role of Anna, and, of course, the brilliant Tanya Truman, who is, of course, playing the role of Mary Berry. I mean, Nigella. Becoming Nigella is about Anna, who finds out her estranged mother has died when she inherits the cookbook How to Eat, which is accompanied by its author, Nigella Lawson, who teaches Anna how to eat, cook, live, grieve, and love one recipe at a time. This is a concert of a show that's very much in development, with 2 absolutely new songs still steaming on the calling rack. In fact, we are going to start you off with one of those fresh numbers, which is likely to be the second song in the show. So, first number of the concert, second number in the show. Possibly, everything's a development, who knows? Anna's father has been calling her all morning. She does not answer the calls, nor does she reject the calls. She simply stares at the phone as she waits for the vibrations to stop.
I am a large filtered coffee. I am a blonde roast. I am organic beans. I am my coffee subscription delivered each morning. I am my routines. I am not the phone calls coming from my father. I am not the girl who missed him when she cried herself to sleep. I am not the hope that fell apart every single time he made a plan he could not keep. 'Cause I hold myself strong. I hold myself firm. I hold myself wise. I will never falter. It's not in my nature to destabilize. I am high protein smoothies. I'm 7 smoked almonds. I'm a perfectly balanced snack. I am macros and flax seeds. I'm streamlined and optimized. I am easy to track. I am designed by nutritionists. I'm built by machines that blend, chop and package each meal. I am automated food plans appearing like magic. I am living an ordered ideal. I am not the teen who lived on bread and crackers. I am not her mother's dirty kitchen smelling of mold. I am not the girl who hungered for her father's soup or dreamed of white steam floating out of liquid gold. 'Cause I hold myself strong. I hold myself here. I hold myself wise. I will never falter. It's not in my nature to destabilize. If a tree falls in a forest and no one saw it fall, it never fell. It never fell. And if no one knows what no one knows about the girl who is no longer me, then I'm only the story I tell. I am professional outfits. I am my makeup. I am my effortless style. I am complete composure. I'm cool under pressure. I am my authentic smile. I am cheerful and competent. I am dependable. I am sturdy and chilled. I am living a good life. I'm healthy and happy. I am secure yet fulfilled. I am not rejection. I am not unwanted. I am not unplanned. I am not a thorn in someone's side. I am not the person I was before this exact moment. I am not a past that is not mine. So I have nothing to hide, because I hold myself here, hold myself in the present. I hold myself wise, 'cause every day I decide never to falter. I won't let it be my nature, so it will never be my nature. I will never destabilize.
Dear Anna, I am writing from the Public Health Funerals Department of Thatcham County Council. This item was passed to us by St Anne's Hospice when undergoing a renovation. It belonged to Chantal McGillan, who we believe was your mother. We enclose a copy of her death certificate and a record of her cremation, which took place in Thatcham Crematorium on the 6th of April, 2020.
Mum, if you can listen to me speaking, if you're a ghost and you're haunting me, if you remember who I am. Mum, if you ever cared about your daughter, if you're watching me from down there, there's something you should know. Nigella Lawson is in my apartment. Her book is in my apartment, The hospice where you died found the book you left behind. That's how I found out you're dead. And that's how I found out. I used to watch Nigella Lawson on TV with my father whilst you were deciding whether or not to come home. I played Nigella Lawson as we cooked our evening meal to distract me from wanting you to come home. I wanted you to come home. I wish you never did.
As your mother did not register any next of kin when entering the hospice staff and the council at the time were under no obligation to inform anyone of her passing. Apart from this book, there was no indication that she had a daughter.
Mum, did you lose my number? Did you know my address? Did I mean nothing to you at all? Did you know you were dying? Who came to the funeral? How long were you sick and thought I didn't need to know? Is Nigella Lawson my only family? This book my only family? Pictures of food, a bunch of recipes, and memories. So many memories. I watched Nigella Lawson on TV until bedtime, whilst you couldn't find the capacity to love. I learned to read with Nigella Lawson as Dad tried new recipes to distract me from the reasons you weren't home. I wanted you to come home. I wish you never did. Then you came home to remind everyone that I belong to you. Why come home to make sure I became as broken and hateful as you? I broke my only home and my true family. My dad and Nigella Lawson were my mothers more than you ever bothered to be.
Cooking is not just about joining the dots, following one recipe slavishly and then moving on to the next. It's about developing an understanding of food, a sense of assurance in the kitchen.
About the simple desire to make yourself something to eat.
2 mugs, a tumbler, a kettle, a microwave. 7 pens, what on earth could you cook with all those pens? 1 bowl, 1 plate, 2 forks, 3 spoons, 1 knife, only 1 blunt knife. What's a home without serving spoons for entertaining? What's a home without plates for your friends? What's a home without the simple desire for eating, for cooking, for life? Someone show this girl how to eat.
There is a reason why this book is called How to Eat rather than How to Cook.
It's a simple one.
Although it's possible to love eating without being able to cook, I don't believe you can ever really cook unless
you love eating. 4 drawers, uninhabited, a sad, neglected hob, an ice pack. What kind of cocktail were you hoping to make with that? A life measured in sachets, from huge bags of space food to coffee and soup, plus 1 growing moldy ready meal. What's a home without a whisk or a saucepan? What's a home with no colander or wok? What's a home without a love for how taste and smell can make you feel?
As much as possible, I have wanted to make you feel that I'm there with you in the kitchen as you cook.
Time to teach this girl
As
how
much
to
as
eat.
possible.
I have wanted to make you feel that I am there with you in the kitchen as you cook. As much as possible, I have wanted to make you feel that I am there with you in the kitchen as you cook. The book that follows is the conversation we might be having.
Nigella is now in the kitchen, the ever-constant foodie voice in Anna's ear. During this next song, Nigella will pull a plethora of utensils and ingredients out of her dress, her hair, and who knows where else, whilst raiding every drawer and cupboard in Anna's kitchen. Sadly, this sort of staging did not quite meet the health and safety criteria for tonight's concert, nor the budget. But we warmly invite you to use your imagination.
Can't you think of anything other than food?
Not if I can help it. Sharpness of lemon, tagliatelle,
No, thank you.
delicate and meaty,
And a carb tsunami.
with gooey, unctuous, liquid velvet, crisp, crunchy bacon,
Crisp, crunchy heart attack.
on oily, soft salmon,
And garnish with mercury.
mushy peas smoother than the lightest chocolate mousse. Aromatic, unstructured braises and stews.
Great.
Greed, to whom I'm no stranger.
Of Wall Street much.
Greed, to whom I am practically family. So I'll grant every taste, satisfy each craving, exploriate till I found desires beyond what one could ever need.
You sound like a lunatic.
I am greedy for rare griddled beef,
Stop opening cupboards.
tiger striped both sides,
There's nothing in there.
diagonally sliced,
I swear this was empty.
courageously, bloodily underdone. Still a cheeky morsel,
Where did all these spices come
succulent deliciousness, buttery golden sauce,
sticks of
mingled
BO.
with ruby red juices, freshly heated ramekins encasing chocolate goose. Greed,
Get out of my vodka freezer.
my favorite pastime.
Is this a bottling or a
Greed,
sex
my
toy?
absolute awe-inspiring passion. So I'll grant every taste,
Nigella.
satisfy each craving, exploriate till I
It's a
found
gift from a client.
desires beyond what one could ever
Step
need.
away from the Bollinger.
I am greedy for ripping apart a roasted chicken with my bare hands.
That's just unsanitary.
And feeling egg whites slipping through my fingers. Holding a pork rib to my mouth, then tearing the meat off with my teeth. Or a secret snack in the middle of the night. Like a sumptuous dream basking in the cold fridge
my fridge have a light
light.
bulb?
Marshmallowy core.
What the hell is in my fridge?
Elegantly firm casing.
Clarence Court.
Duvet of whipped cream.
Double cream.
Dribbling bitter seeds.
Is that large?
Of freshly heated ramekins encasing chocolate goose. Greed, definitely best friends
Those knives are an integral
with.
part of the decor.
Greed, certainly my soul's true calling. So I'll grant every taste,
you dare.
satisfy each craving, exploriate till I
You're
found
making a huge mess.
desires beyond what one could ever
That
need.
bowl is decorative.
I'm greedy for ooh, oh, greed.
Somehow, Nigella convinces Anna to embark on a cooking journey, starting with one of the very first things Nigella ever made, mayonnaise, which can be found on page 13 of the 1998 edition of How to Eat, though the method for separating eggs is strangely found on page 18 because Nigella.
Fine then. Well, you are not making mayonnaise. You are simply taking that tea towel and wetting it under that tap and laying it on the counter. Put this bowl on top of this tea towel. Take these eggs, separate the yolk from the albumin,
The what?
the clear liquid.
How do I do that?
Crack the egg, release the inside from its shell. Hold what comes floating out in the palm of your hand.
What?
Then splay your fingers a fraction. The egg white will run out and drip through the cracks of your fingers into the bowl. And the yolk will remain in the palm of your hand, ready to be slipped into another bowl.
That is potentially the most disgusting thing I've ever heard.
Don't be silly. Disgusting is a word. Difficult is a label. Actions are innocent until proven you're unable. I mean, honestly, what has separating eggs ever done to you to deserve such a reception? You have no idea what difficult really means. You have no idea of what you can't do unless you try. So don't damn an action with vague and naive judgment without interrogating why. Well done. You're practically becoming Delia Smith. Now, drop in a pinch of salt. Well, can you do this action? Great. Now do that motion into the packet of salt. Your thumb and your finger will pick up an amount of salt known as a
Pinch.
Exactly. And then you take this whisk.
Take this
Place
whisk.
it in these egg yolks.
These are egg
And
yolks.
with this circular motion, you whisk them.
I am whisking something.
Just like that. Maybe a little faster. Now add this oil.
Sunflower oil.
Drop by mean drop.
By mean
And
drop.
this shan't be rushed.
Don't rush.
Let the oil seep in from an elegant height.
An elegant height.
Well, it's easier if you pour from a height. Keep going until you see a thick mayonnaise form, about 2 to 3 tablespoons worth.
Oh my God, this looks like mayonnaise.
Well, not quite yet. Now you can just relax and let the oil drip in small glugs. Difficult is a word. Mayonnaise is a label. Actions are innocent until proven you're unable. You have no idea what difficult really means. You have no idea of what you can't do unless you try.
Is it meant to look like this?
So don't
looking
damn an action
really
with
gross.
vague and naive judgment
Why does it look like this?
without interrogating.
Nigella?
Oh dear, it's split.
Split.
Oh, curdled.
So I ruined it.
Well, these things happen.
I need you to fuck off.
I'm not
Fuck
going
off
anywhere.
like everyone who's been or should have been in my life. Your life is dinner party filled and surrounded by posh laughter.
that's just
I
an
need you to
assumption.
Stop pretending, stop wishing that we're wafting through a soiree and simple pleasures aren't quick to derail.
You have
no
idea
how to breathe when every breath is
who
laced
I
with bitterness
am
and
or
consumed
how
by
I
grief that
grieve.
isn't
I
worthy
am
of
always
my
grieving. You have no idea how to breathe whilst pushing aside the darkness.
before anyone can see.
Before my children see my tears, you have
you
no
have a reason to
idea
offer. You
why
have no
I
idea.
chop and stir and need the peace that must occur when I'm in control of a science of a mind of its own. This is how I exhale until the worst of the painful time has flown. You have no idea
How to breathe when
you
every
are
breath is
barely
laced with
breathing. You're consumed by grief.
that isn't worthy of my grief.
You have no idea how to breathe whilst pushing aside the darkness.
before anyone can see. your
If you
fear.
think you are breathing,
think you have reasons to offer,
you have no idea.
So Anna, in a mayonnaise-fueled fury, throws How to Eat out of her flat and Nigella along with it. Now, Imagine a spotlight on Nigella, isolated from the kitchen, her true and natural habitat. She sings a song in which she begins to rethink her approach to life. She will question and evolve in front of our eyes, like a substantial scattering of diced onion in a hot frying pan with a knob of butter, a dash of olive oil, and a sprinkle of sea salt to stop the onions from burning. But that song, that song's not written yet. So, new musicals. So let's return to the kitchen, which is far from the medical grade cleanliness we knew from the top of the show, and let's hear another song straight off the cooling rack.
Oh, look, I made a mess. Of course, I made a mess. I made myself into a mess, and now I need to clean. Wipe away the evidence of failed scrambled eggs. Scrub off the remnants of trying. Stick to what I know, and I know how to keep this kitchen pristine. I know I'm not the person who can. I'm glad I'm not the person who can whisk, 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 and 5 seconds later present a souffle. Who even wants to whisk, 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 an inch towards an RSI every day? Whisk, whisk, whisk until you're brain dead and bored. Your products taste nasty, your struggles ignored. Expending all this effort, persistence and care into a condiment no one wants to share. Oh, look, I made a bowl of wasted oil, punctuated with flecks of salmonella. Oh, look, I made a congealed orangey mass that will forever haunt my appetite. Should it clog up the toilet or stink up the bin? Is it worth keeping this bowl, or is it stained with the sin of attempting pointless tasks I obviously could never get right? I built my life around the knowledge I could never. So it's okay, I will never whisk, 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 a wholesome concoction I conjured in my dreams. So what if I never whisk, whisk, whisk? With so much expertise, each creation glistens and gleams. Only morons whisk, 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 as if it's natural and calm, or it heals like meditation, or soothes like a balm. Then canting an ancestral prayer, while they're wasting hours on a meal to share. There's comfort in knowing my limits, cuts down on the chaos and pain. Draw a line in cement and move on. Never think about cooking again. And so what if I'm exactly like my mother? She took incompetence in her stride. I will always be my mother's daughter. It's not as if I get to decide. But then she never had Burford eggs or extra virgin olive oil, a mixing bowl or a whisk. She never built a home worth the fear of losing. She never knew a love worth the risk. Whisk, 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 work out my forearms till they're achingly strong. Whisk, 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 test my assumptions and hope that they're wrong. Whisk, 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 add another drop. Whisk, 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 I must not stop. Will this be even more eggs, time and oil destined for waste? It's thickening. Add another tiny drop. Is it happening? Add another drop. Is it really doing this? Am I really doing this? Oh, it's time to taste. Salt, pepper, squeeze of lemon. This is not what comes out of the jar. More salt, pepper, juice the lemon. It's so different. It's bizarre. Does this mean it's just an anomaly born out of a fury and grief-fueled craze? Does this mean I'm making condiments from scratch from now on? Or is it just some maddening phase? Or does this mean I've been wrong all of my life, and wrong in how many ways? Or does this mean nothing apart from the fact I can make mayonnaise?
My mother believed in child labor. Tiny feet on adult chairs, tiny hands round wooden spoons. It's how children learn not to be idle. Maybe they learn how to cook. That's definitely how they learn to play with fire.
My mother believed in child labor. Tiny feet on adult chairs, tiny hands searching through the shelves. It's how children learn not to be reliant. Maybe they learn to fend for themselves. That's definitely how they learn to be alone. Everything I know about food I learned from my mother.
Tall flowers aren't for the table. I learned that from her.
Everything I know about selfishness I learned from my mother.
Table manners and etiquette, I learned that
and
from
my
her.
overused suitcase and
how
underused uniforms
to
and the childhood that ran out of
push away
reach.
desires you're truly craving.
But I promise you,
as I promise myself, I am nothing like my mother. My mother believed in reaching over
mother believed
tables.
in reaching for adventure.
Conversations with no interruptions. Conversations not to be disturbed.
No
children
around when she's
around.
hunting for new lovers.
When adults were
No
entertaining,
bedtime stories
muffled
are tucking
sounds
in the covers.
of adults clinking
Keep
glasses.
chasing desires, so foundations aren't grown.
Sounds of a mother breaking free.
Everything I know about fear
from me.
I learned from my mother.
Love isn't always easy. I learned that from her.
Everything I know about loneliness I learned from my mother.
Love can be cold and hurtful.
And from her mindfield,
Love
every day
can't
I
help
told
but
you.
feed.
I watch my
Yet
steps
never
and
say
learn not to
she ate, but I
cry.
promise you, as I promise myself, I am nothing like my mother. Nothing like her sternness.
Nothing like her vanity.
Nothing like her need to be thin.
Nothing like her need to be loved.
Nothing like her stupid rules I never want to keep. I'll never care about the problems that made her silent or angry or weep. My mother believed in reaching for her youthful
freedom was my
figure.
heinous theft.
Tiny mouthfuls, hint of taste, tiny measurements of her slender
Paint
waist.
her face in the mirror, anxious and bereft.
That's how children learn to know their place and despise the person who shares their face. No questioning her values, nor valuing your questions. Keep your life like hers so she can prove her case. I do not live by restriction. I am not my mother.
Unlike her, I'm stable. I can fend for myself. I'm stable.
I will not pass on a single meal. I am not my mother.
Unlike her, I don't need anyone. Just like her, I don't have anyone.
I am most grateful
Was she
through her example
who
to know what I'll never become. So I promise you,
I promise you,
as I promise
I
myself,
promise myself,
I am
must be
nothing.
I will be
Nothing like my mother.
Anna comes home with a shopping bag of ingredients for the world's most boring salad. Nigella will not allow this. In her words, there is nothing healthy about depressing food. Thus, we are called upon to make Nigella's Aunt Myra's pea, mint and avocado salad, which can be found on page 382 of our Bibles as part of the Midsummer Dinner for 8.
Into this bowl, drop in 9 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil
some oil,
and 1.5 tablespoons of good white wine vinegar
some vinegar,
and a fat pinch of sugar.
some sugar.
And then put in a decent handful of chopped mint. Chopped mint, you need to chop it first. My favorite method is to use a mezzaluna, a half moon.
Well, that looks arcane.
Well, the arcane have some wonderful inventions.
This is cool.
Stir that all well so all is amalgamated. Lovely. Now, take 1.5 kilograms of peas in their pods and depod them, or just take 500 grams of frozen peas.
A bag of frozen peas.
Cook the podded peas for a short amount of time in some salted boiling water,
A pot of salted boiling water.
just so that they're ready but not soft.
Ready but not soft. Well, how soft or not soft are they meant to be?
Well, it's up to you.
How am I meant to know when they're ready?
That is up to you. Do you like your peas with a hard al dente nature in the middle? Or to what extent do you like them soft?
Why or how on earth am I meant to have an opinion about how hard or soft I like my peas?
By tasting them. Go on, taste one.
It's like a stone in the middle.
Well, now we know that you don't like raw peas straight from the freezer.
You knew I wasn't going to like that.
Did I? I'm a cookery book author, veteran journalist, TV personality, and national treasure. But I am not a mind or tongue reader. The whole point of cooking is learning what you like and exactly how you like it. It's an exercise in architecting your entire life, one frozen pea at a time.
Who knew peas were so existential?
Well, the frozen pea is an extremely underused and under-resourced ingredient in the kitchen. Go on. Give it another try.
Do I have to?
Absolutely.
It's so different.
Just the way you like it?
Yes.
Great. Well, then pour those peas into a colander.
A colander.
And then straight away into the bowl of dressing.
Bowl of dressing.
Now let that steep for an hour or up to a day.
Hey, I thought we were having food now.
Patience, though that is not a virtue that I'm overly fond of. Here's one I made earlier.
Then why did you just make me do all of that if you had one you made earlier?
So that we can have more tomorrow. Now, stir in this packetful of mixed salad leaves.
Mixed salad leaves.
Separate 2 chicory heads into their leaves and then throw those into.
2 chicory heads.
Whilst I cut these 3 ripe avocados into bite-sized, chunky slices to join in the melee.
Bite-sized chunks of 3 avocados.
Now toss it all together and taste.
It tastes so good.
You may need to drizzle in a bit more oil after tossing.
Barely tastes healthy.
Serve this on a big plate.
I am now a person who can make a salad.
Sprinkle with some more chopped mint.
Anchovies.
Ooh, that wouldn't exactly be to my tastes, but...
This is the best thing I've ever tasted.
Well, then that's just marvellous. You're making food.
And a mess I'll have to clear up later.
You're eating food that you made yourself. You can feed yourself. And feed yourself well with...
I want to make something else.
Ooh, how about a roast...
Bread.
Bread. Then this calls for old-fashioned white bread. Really good white bread. The kind you eat with unsalted butter and jam. 1 loaf in a sitting, no trouble.
Some flour.
Waitrose Canadian bread-making flour.
Some
Real yeast from a baker. No need to froth or
What do you
blend.
mean by 10 grams of fat?
Lard is my
10
favourite.
grams of salt.
Mold and sea salt.
5 grams of sugar.
Pour over.
170 millilitres of tepid water.
Your hands are spiders to claw at
And
the
I
floury
have
mess. Have with unsalted butter and
fresh
jam.
bread.
1 loaf in a sitting, no trouble.
Now I am a person who can
Knead and prove you have
I
fresh
use
bread.
my hands, my head, and raw material.
The best you can get your hands
and
on.
It's magic.
And it's magic occurring in front of your eyes and
making
tongue.
food.
Delicious
I'm
and
making
warming.
food. I can feed myself.
Hearty and made to
Really
soothe.
feed myself.
Feed yourself and feed yourself well.
I get vegetables and meat and spices, and I do what you tell me. And honestly, I always assume you're wrong.
Well, that's charming.
Or there's no way I can actually make something worth my while. But then I pull up the lid or open the oven or sprinkle with parsley. And the smells, the consistencies, and the taste, it tastes like Greek lamb stew, onion mush, Kafkaesque or soft and crispy duck, linguine with clams, pea souffle, red cabbage cooked in the Viennese fashion, lacquered quail,
A whisk, a wok, a colander.
pheasant with gin and it's
Smoked paprika.
mariniere,
Freezer stuffed with odds and ends.
petit pois
À la française. I use my hands, I use my head. It's pure, unrivaled, blissful greed. Definitely best friends with
I'm making
greed. Certainly my soul's true calling. So I'll grant every taste, satisfy each craving, exploriate till I found desires beyond what one could ever need.
I can feed myself.
I'm greedy for. The smell of soup can bring back a memory, but it can't raise the dead. A béarnaise sauce can feel like childhood, but it can't turn back time. No matter the ripeness of a tomato, it won't save you from despair. All food can do is feed you. The sharpness of a lemon can soothe and refresh, but it can't re-diagnose the dying. An affogato can wake you up, but it can't stop you from falling in love. No matter the tenderness of a lamb chop, it won't save you from your grieving. All food can do is feed you, so you can sleep another night and wake up another day. Put clothes onto your body and walk upon the ground, so you can mark the endless time required for a broken heart to barely heal. Drink to drink, snack to snack, meal to sanctifying meal. A wholesome roast chicken can't give you a home, but it can help you feel a bit safer. Mayonnaise can't give you life, but it can bring life to a soulless sandwich. No matter the simplicity of tomato soup, it won't make anything more simple. All food can do, all food can do is put fuel into your engine to ignite a spark, move what was dormant, brighten what feels dark and unclear. The rest, my dear, is up to you.
As we begin to reach the conclusion of this show, Anna now has the strength and resolve to make the hardest and most poignant recipe in how to eat, which is also the very first recipe that Nigella provides, which is on page 8. The reasons why are tear-jerking, bittersweet, and a bit of a spoiler, so you'll have to wait until we have the full show up and running for you to understand why. In the meantime, let's make some roast chicken.
Well, take this lemon and begin. We haven't got all evening.
As a child, roast chicken. Every Friday the smell would glide through the air at my grandma's, always my grandma's, around a table set with candles, cotton napkins and care.
That is not the arse end.
But that's the...
That is a tail.
But it's so big.
Well, I have you know that all the best birds have a rather sizable arse end.
Maybe it's the flavor or aroma or the labor
that carries the extra culinary weight.
A roast chicken smells of
Home.
someone else's
A
home.
roast chicken smells of
Fossilized regrets and pain,
whether it's biological.
or inherited fate.
It's the food one cannot help but recreate. Roast chicken, at least for me, will always hold the smell of family. Sprinkle, just a sprinkle of salt. This is not one of my mother's intensively farmed and frozen since the Ice Age haggard birds.
Well, how am I meant to know what you mean by a sprinkle this time? It's not exactly your most exact measurement.
Well, that's because cooking is not exactly an exact science. Now, just take a small handful, a little less than that, a little more than that. Okay, that will do. And wave your hand over the chicken, allowing for a light stream to leak out of your hand as you go, as if you're beginning a dark magic incantation over the sacrificial animal.
You're so weird.
As a child,
As an adult,
my mother
my dad,
could make the stringiest flesh
and
taste like a poulet de
I
Bresse.
Can we
My
move
mother was a product of her
and
age,
take the risk
who believed that cooking was a battle fought with butter, salt, and stress.
that he
Maybe it's the lemon or the rhythm or tradition that carries the extra culinary weight.
Friday nights are
A
flooding
roast chicken smells of home.
That was my
A roast chicken smells of
a past I cannot live again.
whether it's biological or inherited fate. It's the food one cannot help but recreate. Roast chicken, at least for me, will always hold the smell of family.
Well, now what?
Well, into the oven it goes for, well, it's half an hour plus 20 minutes per 500 grams of chicken. So for this, that will be
80 minutes.
Oh, good to see you're quick at some things.
And that's it.
Well, it's a roast chicken, darling, not Cirque du Soleil.
Roast chicken is simple.
People are complicated, and when they're gone, the complications don't always fade.
They don't fade.
I still have disagreements with my mother at the chopping board or over the stove, and yet I honor her with every roast chicken I've made. A roast chicken smells of home. A roast chicken smells of familial eccentricity, whether it's biological or inherited fate. It's the food one cannot help but recreate. Roast chicken, at least for me, will always hold the smell
of family.
Oh, what a perfectly formed glory! Now, if it were down to me, I would tear all the meat off the bone using nothing but my bare hands, barbarically, like an animal. Or you could elegantly use a carving knife.
This is roast chicken. I made roast chicken. This is my favourite food.
How to know what you fancy, how to make what you fancy, how to follow the impulses of one's tongue to comfort and soothe. Life is filled with complications. Let me offer you something warm and simple and delightful and good.
One book of guidance
And gleeful inspiration.
and recipes.
A friendly hand leading you to the stove.
Leading me to the stove.
Taste some real mayonnaise.
Béarnaise and bechamel
Cassoulets from the queen of the frozen pea. Then you'll have a home filled with stains of exploration.
No, a home filled with bubbling and smells.
Build a home with newfound tools to hold, to comfort and thrive. I have shown this
my
girl
hands and my
how
heart
to
and its magic.